Hey guys, it's Danny. Welcome to a new Q&A session. We are back in the studio. Not studio, it's a bedroom. Today I'm going to be answering more of the questions you left in the comment section of my videos. As you know, I kind of tend to drag this on, so let's not drag it today. Before we start the questions, today's video, together with this entire series, is of course sponsored by rePotme.com, who offers you everything you could possibly need to properly take care of your orchids, from potting mixes, for which they are well known for, to pots, fertilizers, grow lights even, and accessories and everything in between. And not only for orchids, but also for other houseplants as well. Mind you, they started to actually sell houseplants, which is very, very cool. I cannot order because I'm not in the US and we cannot order, organic materials. But that's okay. If you guys ordered plants from them, let me know in a comment. How are they? Are you happy? What plants did you get? I'm really curious to hear what you grow besides orchids. So I will link you to their website down below in the description, and I will also link you to the products that I really, really like and I've been using from them for so many years. And with that said, it is time to get on with the questions. I have many questions, maybe over 10, that I plan to answer in this video. So let's get to it. First question from Jewel Day. Enjoyed the video. Thank you. Please help me with advice. Should I repot an orchid with sphagnum moss with a little bit of bark because it came in a ceramic planter without drainage holes? Absolutely. If the pot it's currently potted in doesn't have any drainage holes, that's very risky. You don't know, first of all, what type of medium it's in, if it's still good, what will you find inside, dead roots, pests. If it's a new orchid, absolutely it needs repotting, even if the pot would have had drainage. If it doesn't have drainage, it's even worse. Yes, I know some of us do use no drainage pots, but we choose the potting materials and the pots themselves, and usually we know where we're getting ourselves into. With new orchids, I would unpot that orchid like yesterday. I need to know what's in that pot. I'm that type of person. As for the material you're gonna use with the orchid, totally up to you. Whatever works best in your environment, whatever you have most available, you should use that. And I hope repotting goes well. I hope you don't find bad stuff in that potting medium and in that pot. I don't know why people in flower shops still use non-drainage pots for orchids. It usually doesn't end well. Next question from Skinny D. I've had my Phalaenopsis orchid plant for the past 2 years. I repotted it a few days ago with Better Grow Special Orchid Potting Mix bark. I don't know what that is because I don't have access to USA brands and products that I bought from the plant nursery. This morning I noticed the leaf at the bottom is turning yellow. Should I mix the bark with some organic potting soil? Absolutely not. So the water doesn't drain too quickly. Please, can you suggest something that I can do to save my orchid? Thank you so much. First of all, do not panic. Just because you have a yellowing leaf at the bottom doesn't mean your orchid is dying in any way, shape, or form. Phalaenopsis orchids regularly shed their bottommost leaves because it's part of their growth plan. I don't know why I'm saying plan. It's how they grow. It's fine. So one leaf at the bottom yellowing, absolutely no issue. It doesn't mean anything. Why would you think your orchid is getting dehydrated? Do you have limpy, leathery, like wrinkly leaves? That is a clear sign of dehydration. But it can be because your orchid doesn't have roots, maybe lost its roots. It doesn't necessarily mean your potting medium doesn't retain enough water. So nothing in this comment tells me that your orchid is dehydrated. It's absolutely fine. Maybe your orchid is suffering from a little bit of, adjustment period, a little bit of stress, a little bit of shock. It's in a new place, it's in a new medium. That still doesn't mean it will lose leaves. But I wouldn't worry if it's just one leaf at the bottom. Typically it's normal, and usually once a year, if not once a year, maybe once every 2 years, Phalaenopsis orchids regularly lose bottom leaves. So I would not worry. I would just keep an eye on the orchid. And for now, maybe you don't need to do anything. Next question from Healthy Living, Positive Thinking. Okay, I chose this comment because this seems to be a little bit of a disgruntled viewer, but I think it's important to address. I guess there are valid points here, and maybe we don't talk about it enough, so I want to take this opportunity to talk about them. So they're saying, if orchids normally grow on bark, why pot them at all? Why don't they make pots or stand for them out of bark? Why don't they sell orchids with their roots around pots rather than inside pot lots? I have found videos on orchids and plants to be full of assumptions. I absolutely do not agree with that, and I will explain why. So let me take the questions one by one. Why pot them at all? Well, because we don't grow orchids in nature. Not even if we grow them in our garden, is it the same as nature? Many of us live in areas that are absolutely different environment-wise and climate-wise than the natural environment in which orchids come from. Usually orchids, most that we can grow in our homes, come from tropical or even subtropical areas. They have either rainy seasons, either a certain type of humidity, either rain almost daily, some of them. I for one live in an environment where it doesn't rain from sometimes April to December. And in summertime, I kid you not, it is an oven outside. Orchids do not grow here. There are some native orchids, but totally different. Like, they're terrestrial and they grow like up in the mountains where it's nice and cool. So all of the orchids that we grow might actually come from very different environments, and keeping them, let's say, outside on a tree is absolutely... You cannot, absolutely. They will die either in the summer, either in the winter, they're gonna be done. So one, we cannot grow them on the trees. Two, having like a tree in a home, not the best idea, I would say, but let's say you have like a different I don't want to get into the next question. A different type of plant, right? You can attach your plant to the other plant. Well, if you don't have the humidity, you'll have to water the plant like multiple times a day. Do you have time, or do you have to go to work? Do you have to take care of the children? Do you have to go pick the children from the school? Do you have to make food for yourself? Are you tired? Are you just tired? You come home and you're like, I don't care. I just want to sit down on my couch. Many of you said yes, yes, yes. Well, you know, this is how life is. We do not have time to water that orchid multiple times a day. Do you want to invest into a system that waters it all the time? Yes, no. Some of us do, some of us don't. Some of us just want a plant in our home that happens to be an orchid. So why pot them at all? Because it's just easy in our homes. I'm not of the mentality, if you cannot grow something like it grows in its natural habitat, don't grow it at all. That's stupid. I don't want to, that's silly. No. Second, why don't they make pots or stand for them out of bark? They do. It's called a mount, and you can have mounts out of bark or ceramic that are longer lasting, or cork, actually. There are all sorts of mounts. I've seen like plastic ones with holes. They look like a drain. They're horrifying. I'm not even going to show you a picture because it makes me uncomfortable. I can imagine some of you. So they do make them. Next one, why don't they sell orchids with their roots around pots rather than inside pot lots? In order to make orchids affordable for people, because they're the type of plants that have different types of growth, right? They also grow slow. You cannot grow them in just like your typical very cheap soil and that's it, like many plants do. They're epiphytes. So because of this special way of growing them, in order to make them accessible and affordable for most people, which wasn't always the case, but after the 90s, it has become the case. So in order to do that, nurseries need systems that make it cheap, make it easy to grow these orchids, and the price of the orchids reflect that easiness, that automation that nurseries came up with, really inventive ways of putting 1 million orchids on the market, right? Maybe not 1 million, I don't know, thousands of orchids. A nursery can produce thousands of orchids in a year. You need an automated way to keep them hydrated. You cannot waste water, especially nowadays. You cannot waste water. You need a way of either also recycling the water and keeping that water around the roots for longer. So the answer to why is because it's not possible. End of story. There's a million issues that can come up, and again, regarding nurseries, I'm not the best one to talk about it. This is just like easy assumptions that any orchid grower can tell you. Nurseries can tell you more, I'm sure. So that's the answer to all of your questions. It's impossible. You saying I have found videos on orchids and plants to be full of assumptions, based on what? Because based on your comment, it seems to me like you don't really know much about orchids, which is fine. We're all here to learn, but we also are here to actually have the open mind to learn why things are they are and not like judge without knowing. Right. So let's move on. Next question from Lois. The stem broke with blooms on it. Oh gosh, it happens to all of us. What can I do? Will the buds bloom if I put it in the medium? No. A flower spike is not like a stem. It will not produce roots. It is the actual flowering mechanism of the orchid. I will assume it's a Phalaenopsis orchid. You can put it in water and hopefully some of the blooms will open. Orchids generally are not necessarily known for the best like vase orchids. Some of them are good, like some dendrobiums. Phalaenopsis, so and so, if the buds are very tiny, I find they don't really last long in the vase. So what you can do is put that stem in the vase, but your orchid will be absolutely fine. Again, you didn't break any vital part of the orchid. It's frustrating because you're not gonna see blooms, and that's one of the things all of us do, and yeah, it's frustrating, but it happens. So try to put it in water and hopefully you'll still get some blooms. If not, don't worry, your orchid will be just fine. Care for it normally. It will rebloom, maybe this season, maybe next season. Next question from Karen. What do I do if I have aerial roots but no roots to put in the pot because they rotted? How do I plant this orchid? Very good question. I like to not play it safe because we're dealing with a rootless orchid here, right? So you have two options. The safer option would be to create a sort of an ICU type of environment. I'll link you to a video down below where you can actually maneuver the roots and monitor them much better than if you pot the orchid, right? You can adjust the amount of moisture around the roots. You can adjust the amount of moisture around the orchid, and ICU is the best thing to do. Now, if you're a little overconfident like I am sometimes, I would go ahead and pot it directly. And I've done this quite a few times. I would put the aerial roots inside the pot, keeping in mind that they're not adjusted to high amounts of moisture. And I would adjust my watering. I would either like not soak the orchid, but just run some water and make sure that the environment is still quite airy and more on the dry side. And just give them water enough to like start to hydrate the orchid, but not enough to keep that pot wet for 7 days. That's ideal, right? You water your orchid 7 days, you don't think about it. No. I would try to water it every 2 days or so, make it so that it stays wet for an hour or two, and then slowly it dries. A day is fine as well. A day is fine. If you keep that medium wet for a day and the next day it's kind of dry already, you water it the third day and you're good. So it's more hassling, but that's what I would do because I'm lazy to do ICUs. I've done them in my youth, but I don't do them anymore. I would suggest you do ICUs though. Next question from Beauty B. Hi, I bought a similar orchid a week ago that had rot and stem rot. All the roots had to be cut off. Now I'm left with a bit of stem. What do I do to get the plant to produce roots without having re-emergence of stem rot? Oh man. I will tell you, stem rot is not my forte. I've never been able to elegantly solve stem rot. I don't know if anybody can, to be quite fair, because when you have stem rot, the hardest part about it, in my opinion, is that you cannot really tell where the infection is. If it's affecting like the vital core of the orchid is done. If it's affecting one side and not the other, can you scrape it off? Can you not? It's really messy in my opinion. All the roots had to be cut off. That's not a good sign either. I'm left with a bit of the stem. Okay. One, it's fine if the orchid doesn't make it. It's horrible. It's the worst, stem rot. I would do again ICU. What I said in the previous question applies. I would try to keep the orchid maybe in a more higher humidity environment so it doesn't lose too much moisture, and not pot it so you see what that stem is doing. Again, I'll link you to some videos down below that talk about similar cases, maybe show you some similar cases, But stem rot, I will tell you, I don't think it's very easy to treat, and I wish you luck, but it's okay if you lose the orchid. We all lost some orchids due to stem rot. Next question. Is it true that rice water also gives good nutrients to the orchid? I'm a new orchid mama. Welcome to the club. I will tell you, I'm not a fan of these like DIY recipes of like rice water, banana water, and whatever types of like water. I was used to joke at some point that next in line is rose water. It never kind of took off, but I would presume that at some point rose water would be a thing as well. No, I am more of the more of the scientific approach. I'm not like a scientist or anything. I wish I was, but I never had the opportunity to actually follow that path in school. But I'm more on the scientific approach of things. If I don't know exactly what substances something contains, I cannot tell you exactly what that something contains and in what quantities, and if they are enough to feed an orchid. I know there are like DIY stuff people use. I don't, and I would not advise anybody to do it because I don't. So I cannot advise you to do something I would not do, right? So I would not use rice water. It's organic. It's gonna like maybe produce some molds as well in time. Who knows? Who knows? I would not do it. And last question for the day from a bear. Do you think it's possible to grow Phalaenopsis only in large, medium lava rock if I'm soaking them frequently and they're in high humidity grow box? Absolutely. The medium itself doesn't matter. There are 3 things that the medium needs to provide. Do we remember my motto? 1, it needs to allow roots to have water. 2nd, it needs to allow roots to have air. And 3rd, it needs to be chemically and physically adequate and not damaging to the roots. In here we can talk about pH, blah blah blah, other stuff. Lava rock, absolutely fine. It has proven to be a good medium for orchids. It can be rather dry, yes. So in those environments that are high in humidity like yours, I think it's perfect. If you have the availability to soak them and water them frequently, absolutely great. I think it's gonna work great, to be honest. Go for it. I would like dream to have the like mental availability and everything to, you know, have this inorganic setup, which I tried many years ago. Didn't work out with me, but it's okay. Go for it. I think it's gonna do absolutely fantastic. And a Phalaenopsis, again, great, has robust roots and it's forgiving, and I think you're gonna have a wonderful experiment and a wonderful time. Alrighty, and that is about it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for sending your questions. You can send more questions down below in the comments section. Thank you rePotme for sponsoring yet another episode. And with that said, I hope you'll have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!